Hey y'all, good morning, and welcome back to the Luk'A'Here y'all podcast, the place where caregivers, advocates, and everyday warriors gather to speak truth, build community, and heal from within. I'm your host, Miss Trina, and today's episode is one I've been holding close to my heart for the longest. And it's going to be really informative to those new CNAs or better yet, the older CNAs. But it's information that needed to be shared today, and I'm here to share it. So today we're talking about certified nursing assistants. Yes, us CNAs, the hands, the feet, the heartbeat of healthcare in Texas. So in Texas, we're experiencing a shortage that goes way deeper than staffing numbers. It's about systemic neglect, emotional burnout, and the cost of being invisible in a profession that keeps others alive. Y'all want me to get that to you again? Okay. This shortage is deeper than staffing numbers. It's about systemic neglect, emotional burnout, and the cost of being invisible in a profession that we are trained to keep others alive. Yeah. So let's talk about this crisis, the culture, and the courage, because this isn't just a workforce issue, it's a moral one. Now, let's get into it. Because, first of all, the numbers don't lie. I did extensive research on this, and it shook me. It really did. It really bewildered me how short we are in Texas of certified nursing assistants. Not the RNs, not the LVNs, not the medication aides, the CNAs. The very little people that keep your facilities running. There are approximately 1,183 skilled nursing facilities and 2,008 assisted living facilities here in our great state of Texas. So in all, that's what? 3,100 and something skilled nursing and assisted living facilities in Texas. Now think about it. If we got a shortage on CNAs, it's got to be over 3,000 CNAs. It's got to be over 5,000 CNAs. It's got to be over 10,000 CNAs because Texas is a big state. And for us to have a shortage that way, that's something worth looking into and talking about it. So let's get into it, okay, y'all? Like I said, the numbers don't lie. Texas is getting older fast. Our senior population is booming, with estimates pointing to 6 million adults over 65 by the end of this decade. But our CNA workforce is shrinking. Facilities are operating with up to 30% fewer aides than they need. That means longer response times, missed care, and staff running on empty, which is true. I've been a part of that before. I have been in a facility where CNAs walked out, not even mid-shift, before the shift even started. I'm talking about clocking in and walked out. All they did was find out we were short. Instead of stepping up, they stepped out. Now those are the ones that were experiencing burnout, but nobody knew it. Those were the CNAs that was asking for change, but nobody listened. Those were the CNAs that asked for just a little bit more money, but nobody was giving. But yet, we show up to the facility and we give 150% every single day, even on our off days. And I have a story about that later on in the podcast, but I got a story about that. So, with that being said, it's a lot of it's a lot of talk going around in the nursing community now about CNAs not being paid what they're worth. That's been a song that's been going on since the dawn of time. But yet you chose to join this profession. Yet you chose to be a part of this elite, what I call an elite club, because just face the CNAs, everybody cannot do what we do. And that's just truth. Trained or not. Everybody can't do what we do. And get this, for real. According to the recent workforce data, Texas CNAs earn an average of $13 to $16 per hour. That's barely livable when you're doing physically demanding, emotionally intense work. Lifting patients, bathing, feeding, and documenting, you name it. We say we care about our elders. We say healthcare matters. But how do we justify paying less than a fast food wage to someone who may be the only human touch a patient experiences in a day? I mean, really. Because when you look at some of the fast food places, they making almost $20 an hour. But see, for their customer service, they're paid for $20 an hour. But in our field, in the nursing field, our customer service is a whole different beast from what fast food customer service is. Okay? After that burger or that meal is made and that person gets that sack, pays their money and go out the door, that's it for them. That's it for the interaction between you and them, unless you got their order wrong. But that's it. But when it comes to residents and patients in the facility, when it comes to CNAs, our job don't quit. Once we leave a patient safe and comfortable in either in their own room or either activities, we got to see that patient again. We have to see that patient again, whether it be for a diaper change, whether it be for a wheelchair adjustment, or whether it be for just laying them down to take a nap. We will see that person again. Our job don't stop. Yeah, our job don't stop. But when it comes to real voices and real struggles, I called a ex-co-worker of mine, because I don't work no more, but she do. She's still there. And I asked her, I asked one person in long-term care, and then I asked Keisha, I can call her name because she said I could. Then I asked Keisha for assisted living facility, research. I know it differs from skilled nursing. It differs a lot from skilled nursing, but still, the story was the same. Okay? Because, baby, if I don't tell you, she left me rattled. She left me shook. I actually forgot. I actually had the nerve to forget the in-depth on this. And for me to be shocked at first and then realize, oh, okay, well, yeah, that sounds about right. That's a hard pill to swallow. With knowing that the way you left is kind of the way it still is. You know what I mean? So, well, when I left nursing, I was a PCT at Baylor Rehab Hospital in Dallas, across the street from Big Baylor. And I was working on the SCI floor. Let me see. Was it I worked on SCI, which is brain, but then I worked on the shoot, girl, I know I didn't just forget that fast. Let me find out I'm getting old. Anyway, I worked on the spine floor. And on this floor, all of our patients had to be moved or lifted with Hoyer lifts because they was tetras, some were in, spinal cord injury. That's what it is, spinal cord injury. Girl, I'm tripping. Spinal cord injury. Now I'm working on this floor with these kind of patients and not knowing that I had a spinal cord injury of my own. That's how, seriously, that's how I was, I'm not going to say able to understand what they was going through, because my body didn't, because I didn't know that my body was going through the same thing. But I gave the best care that I could give anyone in that position, on that floor, because I take pride in my work. I take pride in what I do. But to know that I'm working on a spinal cord injury floor with a spinal cord injury my own self, yeah, that was something else right there. But, with that being said, I'm not going to say I learned to adapt or adjust, because, with my injury, but because I didn't even know I had an injury. I was just doing the work like I'm supposed to do every single day. But when I found out is when I got a, I got a pain in my leg and I couldn't finish my shift. Now, when I can't finish my shift, or I can't finish something that started, I'm going to go see what this is. I'm going to go see what's stopping me from doing my work, because I don't play this, not none of this. So I went to see, and that's what I found out I had. Found out I had to have surgery, a 360 back surgery, that is. And I had it, and here I am, sitting in front of this computer with these headphones on, with this microphone in front of my mouth, talking to my fellow CNAs, fellow home health aides, just bringing awareness to the nursing community in general. For all of those people that actually thought that someone forgot about you or the work you do don't matter, yes, it does. It matters right here. And I would love to hear you guys' stories. I would love to hear you guys' takes on my informational videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will be glad to answer all of your questions if they sent. Now, with that being said, we can keep going. Like Keisha told me, "Oh, Miss Trina, man, we miss you up here, girl. We ain't doing no laughing, girl. We ain't had no fun since you left," which is a funny thing, because I do like to keep it light. I do like to keep laughter going around. I do like to crack jokes, because that's what I call camaraderie, when you get, all of your co-workers on the same page, just to have fun with what they're doing, to have fun with the residents that they have, to have fun throughout the facility overall. Because when the patient sees smiles and laughs and giggles on our face, they'll have the same ones, because they feel like they're in a relaxed atmosphere. Okay? But let me tell you about Keisha. Baby. Keisha said, "Miss Trina, now I love what I do." But the other day, before I came to work, I sat in my car and I cried before my shift. Not because of the work, for real. Not because of the work. Because I know we gonna be short again. And they still expect miracles. Now let me stop right there. Let me stop right there and tell you, because this is where the rubber meets the road. You know what I mean? So, when you do get to work or whatever, and you find out that y'all short for the day. Now, let me tell you about me. When I get to work and I find out that we short for the day, that don't do nothing but make me step up. And whoever's assignment is short, I'll be glad to take the first 3 rooms plus my assignment. My assignment plus the first 3 rooms on her house. See, and y'all can do the rest with what y'all want to do, because me, myself, I can't stand up here and talking to y'all about who gonna take what room and who gonna do what. We ain't got that kind of time to be wasting. We have to consider, time management today for real, because we short. So the longer we sitting up here trying to figure it out about who room's gonna take what, or who gonna take what, or who gonna do what, the longer we standing up here, the pissier my people getting. So I can't be standing up here with y'all. I done already took my full assignment, and I done took the first 3 rooms off that hall. Now let's go. And I move. It's time to move. These people got to get up for breakfast. These people got to get dressed. These people got to wash their face. These people got to sit up in bed, the ones that don't get up for breakfast. But then the ones that do get up. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have them up, then, you know, you do. You have to run. You have to rush. But it's got to be a good kind of run. It's got to be a good kind of rush. There is no way the residents or patients should know that we are short-staffed today. That is not their business. They have no business knowing that. Because when you let a patient or a resident know that we short-staffed today, the first thing they going to think is, I ain't going to even get care for today. And that ain't no cool feeling for no patient or no resident to have, to think that they not going to be taken care of for today. You know what I mean? So when times like that happen, just be mindful of what you say. Now, if you frustrated, if you one of the frustrated ones and you experiencing burnout, go on, get out the building. Go on, clock out and tell them folks what you can't do because you feel like this. Because there is no worse person to have on the floor than a disgruntled CNA. And that's just the truth. Because the care is not going to be top notch and the work going to get half done. I've seen it, I've seen it, I've seen it. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then there was Jason. My friend named Jason. We worked at a facility in Mansfield together. He was something else. Now, when I was hired there, I was hired as a CNA. All I did was ask one question at a morning meeting with nurses, and I was promoted to lead training CNA. Now, while I'm in this lead training CNA position, I'm still a CNA on the floor over my own hall. Okay? It's not that I had an office to go to. It's not that I had a cubicle or whatever to go to. It's not that I had to be off the floor to do whatever it takes to get our CNA skill train checklist done. I didn't have to do none of that. I volunteered to keep my floor. Not so much as I didn't want to just, I didn't want to leave my patients like that. But then I didn't want to give them to nobody else either. And the reason why I say that is because my patients loved me for the morning shift. And that's where I was. So I do what my patients expect for me to do, and I fill in wherever I'm supposed to fill in. But now, on this particular day, Jason said he didn't basically had enough. He had enough because one of his patients died. Now, when the patient died, there were no family members there. And Jason cared about that lady that much to where after he did post-mortem care, he stayed in the room with her because his emotions were so attached to that lady to where he cared about her like she was a full-fledged family member of his. And I get it. I really, really get it. Now, Jason had 2 more showers to do. I'm finished with all of mine. Plus my 3 rooms that's down on the other hall. So I helped one of his patients get a shower, and I actually performed a full shower on the other patient, so that way his work is all done for the day, and when he go home, he can just grieve in silence. So when the day was almost over with, and we was getting ready to clock out, man, Jason came to me and said, you know what, Miss Trina, you might as well mark me off. I said, mark you out for what? He said, mark me out of this facility. I'm not coming back after today. Because I'm tired of seeing people die alone because the system expects me to be everywhere all at once. I'm not Jesus. I'm just one man. If it wasn't for you taking, lightening in my load after that happened with my patient, because actually when she passed away, I was going to walk out then. I was going to leave then. But it took you, Miss Trina, to step up to help me finish my assignment to where I felt like, okay, I'll just give it, I'll give it a little more time. I won't just quit. But then by the time they came and got her body and took her body out the facility, that was it for him. And you know what he doing now? Come on. Please ask me what he doing now. Huh? He worked for Amazon. He an Amazon delivery driver. Wow. Wow. Plus, they get paid more money anyway. Now, ain't that sad? Delivering somebody packages pay you more money than keeping your family member alive. Boy, I tell you, boy, you gotta love folks, right? And these ain't just isolated anecdotes. These are systematic echoes. Okay? Systemic echoes is what they are. Now, let's talk about the mental toll of it. Okay? Now, I did me some good research, so I'm going to be reading from my phone. So, if my eyes divert from you guys, yeah, it's because I'm reading. I'm going to start tripping. Now, let's talk about the psychological price tag of caregiving. Compassion fatigue is real. Burnout, anxiety, even PTSD. Yes, PTSD from repeated trauma in understaffed environments. You witness neglect not because you don't care, but because you physically can't be everywhere all at once. And that's the truth. Clients suffer too. When there is no continuity of care, there's confusion, fear, regression, and CNAs. CNAs, yeah, they report sleepless nights, chronic stress, and health issues from the emotional strain. See, this is why I talk about that emotional go bag. A set of tools I believe every caregiver should carry. Affirmations, grounding techniques, a support system, and boundaries. Because if you don't protect your heart, this work will break it, baby. And they ain't lying. That's just the truth. Now that is true. Because the emotional strain that nursing takes on the average CNA is overwhelming. But if you don't know how to manage that, if you don't know how to cap that volcano or quell those emotions, then you're going to have a hard time with nursing, being in nursing. But me, myself, I always, let me see, I always try to fit in, or I ain't gonna say fit in, I'm just gonna say place my emotions in a bucket while I'm at work. And the bucket I place my emotions in is my back pocket. Yeah. So when I go to my smoke break, I can open up my pocket and relieve myself. Because that's what I did. I can bundle my first 4 hours up and put it in my back pocket, but baby, don't let me go out there on that smoke break, baby. I'm finna let it rip. Now, if it's patients or residents out there, I don't talk. I don't let it go, because like I said, there's nothing that the residents or the patients need to know. So now I mean, it's funny because I used to rip like that. Now, if I had a really bad half a shift, baby, I go in my car on my lunch break. I go up to a fast food restaurant or go around to the park. And I smoke my square or whatever, and I just, vent about it. Not to nobody, just out in the open. No, I'm not hollering and crying and slanging snot. I'm not doing none of that. I'm just talking, just to get that off me. And that was one of my emotional, and that was one of my tools off in my emotional go bag. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Now, let's talk about the systemic, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying systematic. Let's talk about the systemic blind spots, okay? Now, let's get real about why we're here. CNA training in Texas costs upwards of $800 to $2,000. And yet graduates are stepping into jobs that won't cover rent. And then the lack of benefits, poor shift structures, and minimal mentorship, and we wonder why turnover is so high. And we can talk about culture. CNAs of color often face language barriers, cultural insensitivity, and outright discrimination. The system isn't built to retain them, it's built to exhaust them. Ain't that something? They talking about us. They talking about the color CNAs. Simply because we're not bilingual, because there are more and more Spanish-speaking residents that are coming into the facilities. Now see, when we see that, it's up to us to learn that second language. You ain't got to go to school to do it. Put your translator on. Have your patient talking to your phone in Spanish. You can see what they're saying in English. All you got to do is be proactive. Make your job easier. You know what I mean? Make your shift go smoother. Make the day for your residents be better. Just by going that extra mile, just by going that second step, you can get a lot done, and you can accomplish a lot. And at the end of the day, you'll feel better because you're learning a new language that you ain't got to pay money for. Okay? Y'all better act like y'all know around here. And we can talk about culture. We can talk about culture, but why? I mean, why? Because that ain't going to do nothing but bring up a race issue. You can't even get... the atmosphere today is so sensitive with racial undertones that it's just ridiculous. So we as CNAs, we got to pick and choose our battles. But like I said, if you having a problem with communicating with a patient of yours and they don't speak your language, just set your phone to translate. That'll make everything better. Yeah. In states like California and New York, they have begun offering retention bonuses, mental health grants, and career ladder programs. Texas, we still drafting resolutions. We need to move from policy planning to people protecting. Period. Let me get that to you again. In Texas, we still drafting resolutions. We need to move from policy planning to people protecting. Now that's all right there. I'm glad I wrote that. Yes. Yeah. Y'all need to stop talking. Y'all need to come on and let's do. Okay? Now, what needs to change? So what do we do? Okay? So what does Texas need to do? Raise the wage floor. Not just minimum wage, but the living wage too. Offer tuition reimbursement for CNA education. Say if they got to go do something, they got to go get their CPR license or whatever. They got to go renew it or whatever. Don't let them go on their dime. Let them go on your dime. They work for you. They going to need those skills in your facility. Prioritize your mental health. Oh, you do. Before you clock in and before you clock and after you clock out. Your mental health, CNAs, is important. Because if you're not on time up here, your care is not going to be on time right here. Okay, right here. So, with that being said, the heart and mind need to be on the same page. And Texas needs to create mentoring programs so new CNAs feel supported. Like here, I'll be your mentoring program. Right here on Luk'A'Here, y'all. Sure will. The state ain't got to pay me. I'll be glad to talk to CNAs about anything that they going through, about anything that they have to do, anything that they feeling. I'll be your advocate. I sure will, because I run my mouth enough. Better ask my little sister. And we need to design staffing models that reflect real human capacity. Now, I know what they mean when they saying this, okay? Now, if we have 32 residents on a floor, okay, and we got 4 CNAs, we already know that's 8. That's 8 patients, 8 residents apiece, okay? Now, within these 8 patients or these 8 residents, 5 of them are total care. When I say total care, I mean everything. You dressing, you changing, you dressing, you repositioning, you lifting, you putting in a wheelchair, you putting them back to bed, you doing like 110% total care. Now, how you prioritize is you have 2 that take a little bit more of your time than the other 2 do. So you go hard care, easy care, hard care, easy care. You see what I mean? And with that being said, when you prioritize your time, everybody gets enough of you during the day, during the shift, so they can feel like they have been cared for and they are really loved, because that's the feelings that I give off to my patients or my residents, that they are really cared for and they are really loved. So when you prioritize your day, your hours, your work schedule, whatever, it makes your day go smoother, and you won't be experiencing burnout because of the nursing shortage. You know what I mean? So I've seen pilot programs in Dallas that pair CNAs with patient advocates for better outcome. I've seen community colleges launch free CNA courses tied to job readiness. But we need to amplify these and make them standard. Like, this should be the stuff that's going on all the time, not just one time for the community, or not just one time so your company can look good. This should be something you should be doing all the time in these facilities. Now, when I was started early in nursing, if I would have known that the nursing shortage was a part of the Apply Her, Work Her program, then I would have been keen and privy to like the shortages and what was going on. But I wasn't, because I have seen plenty of facilities that will hire you, train you as a CNA, but you have to work for them for a year after you are granted your license, and then you're able to move on and go somewhere else. But if not, if that's where you want to be and that's where you want to work and you feel more comfortable there, by all means stay. You ain't got to go nowhere. They already trained you. You already know the ramifications of the job. You might as well stay. Because the time you there, somebody have grown to like you. Somebody have grown to need you, and somebody has grown to want you as their friend. And that's a wonderful thing. It is. It's a wonderful thing to feel needed. Now, with that being said, I wanted to close with this, okay? Now, whether you're a professional caregiver, caring for family, or holding space for others in your community, this is for you. Press play, share with your peoples, and come here with me, because you deserve care too, and your story matters right here. So here's my heart. CNAs aren't disposable. Yeah, I don't know where it stopped, but I'm going to have to go back through it. But like I said, if you got a story, just share it with me at the Luk'A'Here Y'all podcast on YouTube. You just might be the voice that shifts the culture. Next week, we dig deep into the hidden curriculum of caregiving. Actually, I've already did the hidden curriculum of caregiving. So I was supposed to have did this before I did that. When I actually got it backwards, probably because I was so excited, so excited to do it. But I do have a podcast on the hidden curriculum of caregiving. What we learned that isn't written in like now textbook. I mean, baby, the syllabus they gave us does not. Just go ahead and watch that video, the hidden curriculum of caregiving. So until then, people, stay compassionate, stay courageous, and stay connected. And most of all, keep loving each other. Keep helping each other. Until next time, this is Miss Trina signing off for the Luk'A'Here Y'all podcast. Any questions, comments, or concerns, can you please put them in my comment section? I'll be glad to get back at you. All right, people. Y'all have a good day and continue to love each other.